length measure. That's plain old United States, America, Texas measuring. Remember, we need to get off of it and get to metrics, but we're stuck on customary. So what's our smallest customary measurement unit? Centimeters metric. Y'all, come on now. Inches. Customary. Inches. All right. Abbreviation. IN. All righty. What comes after inches? Feet. Or foot. Again, I bet we could guess where that came from. A human foot. They used to actually measure out things foot to foot to foot. You know, heel to toe, heel to toe. And that's how they did it. Abbreviation.
FT.
FT. Now, out here to the side, how many inches?
12.
12. Again, right here is what starts why we shouldn't be using customary anymore, because it's difficult. We should be doing metrics, because metrics is easier numbers. Here, arbitrarily, they say, when they put a measuring device on someone's foot way back in the day, most men's feet averaged around 12 inches long. And so that's where they came up with it. And so 12, just out of the blue like that. What's after feet? Yards. Abbreviation? WAD. Who said that? That boy, WAD. Man, gee. How many feet? 3 feet. Up, another arrow. How many inches?
36.
36. All right. 36 inches is a yard. 3 feet is a yard. And the last measurement, miles. Abbreviation? No. A good try. MI. MI. All right. How many yards? 1,760. You were close.
Isn't that 5,280 miles?
And now feet. Matt? 5,280 feet. Now, that's the only ones we have in our customary. Now, some people say, well, these are easy because there's not very many of them. And when we get into metrics tomorrow, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of metric measurements. But to me, they're a lot easier because of the numbers. Metrics are all based on the number 10, where here we have no really base number. We have 12s, we have 3s, we have 36s, and we have 1,760s, and we've got 5,280s. Those are just numbers just out there. It's kind of hard to have a pattern looking at them. So that's what makes them hard for us to memorize. But we'll just go ahead and do it. Now, I've got my arrows drawn just like I did last week. Small measurement, turning it into bigger measurement. Divide. So if we have small inches and we want to turn it into yards, we're going to take however many inches we have and divide. Large measurement to small times. So it's just like we did on gallons, quarts, pints, cups, ounces, fluid. Same way. Small to big. I said that backwards. Big to small multiply, small to big divide. Now, one thing I want to look at now is the breakdown of a measuring device that measures length measure. Y'all like to call it a ruler. I don't like calling it a ruler because queens and kings are rulers. Prince or princesses or the duke. Those are rulers. I like calling these measuring devices. Well, I'm going to hand you a ruler. We are going to look at the inches part of it, and we're going to do a breakdown because students get all confused about those little bitty marks in between the long marks. So, pause just for a moment to get everybody a measuring device.
You see your protractor?
Yes, sir, I saw that. Good job, man. Thank you. All right. You will notice when you look at one of these here measuring aid devices, when you read School Smart, it's not upside down. You have the inches. Of course, it does have metrics on the other side. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Today, we're worried about the ones that are on the top of School Smart. Made in China, 0893838, blah, 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 up here. Now, folks, each measuring device has a possibility of being different. If I was measuring with this wooden one right here, the very end of the measuring device is where I start measuring from. But what did you notice about yours I just gave you?
You start from that first.
Right. The very end of the plastic is not where you start measuring from. You start where the line is, which is over just a little bit, and I've indicated that on my writing up here. My picture of a ruler, this picture of a king right here. All right. You don't use the very end. You start there. Now, some, like this one, you do start on the very end. You have to check the measuring device out to see which way you're going to have to do it. Okay? But we're going to be doing this one, so that's why I have moved it over. Now you'll see the longest line you see after the starting line goes all the way across, but most of the time it just goes a little ways. Alrighty? So, the longest line has the number 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. Those are what? Inches. Those are our inches. I-N, I-N, I-N. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. If you measure something and it ends up exactly on one of those long lines, it is 1 inch or it's 2 inch, etc., etc. We run into trouble, some students run into trouble and get all confused about all the little marks in between. So we're going to make us one in our notes so we can understand what we got. The next longest line available in between there is in between 0 and 1, and it's almost as long as the inch marks, but it's not quite as long. And then there's another one over here in between the 1 and the 2, almost as long, but not quite. And in between the 2 and the 3, almost as long, but not quite. What are those?
Halves.
The halvesies. I'm going to write on my notes half. This will be a half, and this one is a half. Now, in our notes, I've just gone out to 3. It works all the way out. I feel kind of dumb having to tell you all that, but some students don't realize, well, you just stopped at 3. Common sense says if it goes past 3, there's more of them out there. The halvesies. Now, in between those is another line that's not quite as long as the half ones. And it's in between all the halvesies and the wholesies. Those, if I look just to in between 0 and 1, with those marks in there now, I have split 0 to 1 into how many units?
4.
4 units. So each one of those is worth 1/4. Now, please watch, because I blow people's brains when I do this, even smart students. This is 1/4, because it's the first one. The next one is 2/4, but we've already named it 1/2. Is 2/4 the same as a half? Yes, it is when we simplify, correct? From way back when. So I don't need 2/4. I've already named it a half. What would the next one be? 3/4. The next one would be 4/4, but we've already named it 1/2. Correct? So I don't need 4/4. 4/4 simplifies to 1/2. Do we start over again after 1?
Nope.
Yes. This is 1/4 again. It will be 1/2 and 1/4. Then I got 2/4 again, but again, do I really need to write 2/4 down? No, because I've already named it the half. And then we have 3/4 again. 1/4 again. 2/4, but it's 1/2. 3/4, blah, 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 blah. My hand keeps marking out my marks. Is that all the little lines that are in between there?
No.
Nope. All right. Okay. In between these, there's another line that's not as long as the one we just drew for 1/4. All right, Matt? Still sick, aren't you, Bo? But you came to school. I'm glad. Proud of you, dude. Proud of you. Not playing on your Xbox 34,000. Good job. Now, those marks. If I look again, if I use EA stuff again, cover up. From 0 to 1, I've now divided it into how many pieces? 8 pieces. So those lines are worth 1/8. So let's write 1/8. What would the next one be? 2/8, but
Already named it.
we've already named it 1/4. So don't name it 2/8. 2/8 simplifies to 1/4. 3/8. Then what? 4/8, but we've already named it half. He doesn't need another name. All right, let's just keep going. 5/8. 6/8, no, 7/8, and then 1/2. Correct? Can we go now the rest of them?
Yes.
All right, let's pause. Y'all go ahead and go. 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8, 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8. Now, is that all the lines that are in there? Oh, there's another one. Now, let me tell you something right here. Got everybody? We are not measuring anything smaller than 8ths in the 6th grade. You with me? But we have to understand that there is another line in between these to mess me up. The smallest line on the ruler. It is 1/16. We are not going to be measuring by 16ths, but I'm going to draw them on there so you won't get confused. Do not measure anything to the teeniest, tiniest line. We will only measure to the next to tiniest line, which is the 1/8. Yes, EA?
Why on the ruler are they all the same size except for the half and the inches? Yeah. Look, they're all the same size.
That's
There's no
meters. We're on this side. Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. That's all right, girlfriend. we still love you anyway. Alright. So, if I've given I got a shoe. Got my shoe. I want to measure my shoe. Alrighty? I'm going to need a longer measuring device, aren't I? Ha ha ha! Where would I put the end?
Where the line starts.
On the edge of the shoe. This one starts on the very end. If I was using this, what would I have to do? I would put the mark on there, not the end. Alright, but I go up there and I measure to the other end 13 inches. Size 13 shoe. How hard is measuring?
Easy.
Good. What if you're told to draw a line segment? 3 1/8 inches. So what do I do? Nope. Start with a what? A point, a dot. Okay? Put the last line on there and go how far out? 3 whole, and then which mark?
The second smallest.
The second smallest mark, first one past the hole number 3. So the second smallest mark past hole number 3 is right there. Make a mark, use your straight edge. Oh my goodness, this is difficult work. There it is. So if you're asked to draw a line segment so long, can you do it? You better remember, which mark is it? The next to biggest, next to smallest, or the ones in between. Never the 1/16. Okay? That's the easy part. Now let's go to similar things what we did last week, converting inside our customaries. Last week we changed gallons to pints and cups to inches, cups to ounces, etc., etc. Now let's change these. 5 yards is how many feet?
15.
Well, now just yelling an answer doesn't tell me how to do it. Remember, I'm brain damaged. Big to smaller. We're going to be multiplying, and the number we're given is 5. Go to your chart. Where's feet and yards? Yards, feet, the number 3, and we prove what you said, 15 feet. 6 feet's how many inches? Okay. First, tell me what we got. Big to small? Big to small is big to small.
Multiplying.
Multiply. And what's our number? 6. Now find feet and inches. 12. What's that equal?
72.
72. Now 48 inches is feet. Inches to feet. Good. 48 divided by, now what's inches and feet? 12? 4. This is hard stuff, isn't it? I really like my tennis shoe I do there. That's pretty nice. Kind of blocked off on the end though. That's the design where the mesh is and stuff and the leather going across there and stuff.
The Nike side's backwards.
I don't believe it is.
See, look at my shoe.
I don't believe it is. Look on the inside, Holmes. Look on the inside of your foot.
It's still backwards. Yeah, it's
Oh,
still
crud.
No, you took a picture of it, so it has to be backwards.
Oh, okay. Thanks for proving me wrong there, why not? Appreciate it. Alright. Yards to inches.
big, small,
Multiply, so 6 times. Now, inches in yards.
so 36.
36. What's 6 times 6?
36.
Carry my 3. 6 times 3
18.
plus 3,
21.
216 inches. 10,560 feet, I want miles. Feet to miles. Dividing. So 10,560 divided by 5,280. And if I'd use any kind of thought process, how many 5s will divide into 10? 2. So let's just check real quick. This is guess and check. I'm guessing 2. 2 times 0, 2 times 8. 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 5. Boom. Got to be 2 miles. Right? Right? Alright. 66 inches is how many feet?
4 and 2.
Inches to feet.
5.5.
Now, 66 divided by 12. Don't know. 66 divided by 12. 5. 5 times 2, carry my 1 is 60. Subtract, I've got leftovers.
6 over
5
12.
and 5.
I can do this, Casperize, and decimal comes straight up, right? And we get 5.5. Or EA had a great idea. Remember way back when we took our leftovers, put it over our divisor, simplify, 1/2. So 5.5 or 5 and 1/2. Kill it, dude.